and has spoken on the, no more public contributions and Harambees by the state officials will be done moving forward. This is one of the demands that the Kenyans, of course, led by Gen Z, had put across to President William Ruto. And so far, he has made it clear that no more public contributions and Harambees will be seen done moving forward, especially by the state officials. President William Ruto has also spoken on the purchase of the new motor vehicle, saying it has been suspended for 12 months. The purchase of new motor vehicles are suspended for 12 months. The president spoke on the, of course, state operations that are overlapping, and he has spoken about 47 or so state operations overlapping to be dissolved. But he did not leave it at that. He went further to speak on what would happen to the staff members currently working on this or in this particular state operations. The president has said that the staff that will be affected by these changes and the dissolving of those particular state operations will be transferred to other ministries in that regard. And also the president has spoken on the CAS's offices, or that particular project of cabinet administrative secretaries suspended. The president has made it clear to the nation that the CAS's offices, as proposed by his office, has now been suspended. The advisors of the president will be reduced by, of course, 50%. The president has spoken on the advisors, saying there will be a reduction of that particular type of people and service by 50%. And this, he says, will take place with immediate effect. The president has also spoken on the budget allocation that was supposed to be for the renovations of, particularly, let's say, the deputy president's office, or the state house, to be more precise. And he's saying these renovations will be, or the budget for those renovations will be reduced. That is therefore the president saying they have heard the cry of Kenyans and have considered the reduction in the budget that has been set aside for the renovations for, of course, the State House, or any of those renovations around the executive, in as far as that is concerned. Now, the president has spoken on aligning the government expenditure. What I'm talking about is what the president has put in his address, coming out of some austerity measures that his administration has taken, aligning government expenditure. Remember, earlier on, the disgruntled Kenyans had called out the president on what they termed wastage and corruption, and an expenditure that is extravagant. Hence, the president, His Excellency President William Ruto, just this very moment, has addressed the nation on these matters at the State House in Nairobi. However, the president also reiterated a tweet he made earlier on in 2019. In fact, just when he was beginning his address, the president referred Kenyans to a tweet that he had made on his account, if I am more accurate, in the year 2019. And in regard to this tweet, he reiterated his pure intention and commitment through his leadership on a fair ground. All right, the president has said that he is actually very happy that the country has gotten to this point of a conversation. Now, we had concerns earlier on if the president would set the agenda for the X space that was expected to have a conversation, rather, on X space with the Generation Z. And he has told the nation that he is glad that at this point in time, the nation is not discussing, personalities, tribes, or political formations. Rather, the nation is discussing issues. And in these issues, the president has mentioned matters: debt, the budget, corruption, cost of living, unemployment, taxation, manufacturing, and opportunities for all Kenyans. Now, let me just share again what the president has said, that the effect of withdrawing the finance bill has come with its own ways that the government has been forced to restructure, its budget. And he has mentioned that there are some critical issues that will need facilitation on a different, restructure plan. And he mentioned the hiring of, JSS teachers, medical interns, dairy farmers. He has talked about reviving the stalled projects in the country. The president has spoken on necessary funds that will be, of course, borrowed to retain the fertilizer subsidy program, settling debt owed to farmers in the coffee sector. The president has also said it's very crucial, however, that even so, after withdrawing the finance bill, the money is still very important to use to the sugar mills, or rather for the sugar mills to pay outstanding debt. These are some of the key areas that the president said there has to be a way to get money to be able to settle these very key areas in as far as moving the country forward is concerned. However, as I continue to reiterate, he has proposed of course, they have proposed a budget cut to the National Assembly. The president has spoken clearly on the proposal of a budget cut to the National Assembly. And among these other things, in as far as aligning the government and the expenditure, the president has spoken on 47 state operations with rather overlapping, work to be dissolved. The president has also spoken on the money and the budget for the office of the First Lady and of the Second Lady, or the spouses' offices to be more specific. He has been very clear on that, saying that will be removed. In simple terms, that will be removed. The budget for the renovations has also been reduced, and the president has given the directive to the AG's office this afternoon to submit legislations to this effect of what I am sharing right now, or to his address this afternoon. The head of state has given a directive to the AG's office to submit legislations to this effect. As he concluded, President William Ruto believed and said that he believes the changes set, and those changes that I have also highlighted, set the country in a positive trajectory and will transform the country. Once again, President William Ruto has addressed the nation, and he has actually spoken to, if not all, a number of major issues and demands that were raised by Kenyans, especially during the protests, these protests that were led by the Generation Z. And he has said that he believes that those particular changes he has set and his administration has set after listening to the Kenyans will set the country in a positive trajectory and transform the country. Once again, I'll just go through the demands as were given by the Generation Z earlier on. And if the president did speak to them, we continue to follow up with you on social media as well. What we are seeing, however, is that the president spoke on the travels, the president spoke on the spousal, budget, or office of the spouse money. The president spoke on the vehicle purchase, especially of the state, leaders to be suspended for 12 months. He has, given a directive to the AG to submit these legislations to the effect. The president has also spoken to these issues in as far as the CAS, which has been very contentious. That is the cabinet, administrative secretary's matter, and he has said this is suspended. The advices of the president to be reduced by 50%. But as we always do, we will give you a more comprehensive, report and bulletin. And even